Hey, but no spirits come for me, okay?
Good evening, coconuts. The trees are dying. The nights are longer. The spirits are growing restless. It must be October. Do you believe in spirits? Do you believe in the great beyond? I do. A lot of people do. Tonight, I want to give them a voice. I want you guys to hear their stories. Stories that might shock you, that might scare you, that might keep you up all night. Are you ready to join me? Let's go ahead and start reading some of these spooky tales.
When I was a kid, about ages 5 to 6, I had a specific tree at the edge of the yard, which was near the jungle, that I loved to play at. It looked like a bench because a storm had knocked it over. So it kind of grew in an L shape, like a curved L shape, and it had a lot of mushrooms and flowers by it. So I would go out there frequently and I would meet this old lady. You know, like, come to think of it, I never knew her name. She never told me, but she was always there. And she had a white muumuu with like blue flowers on it. And I just remember her being kind of short and petite in stature, but very kind. Anyways, I would go out there, she would meet me, we would spend time together, she would ask me about my day, she would listen to me and spend time with me, and we would look at the mushrooms together, we would look at the flowers together, and I mean, I only ever had good feelings. My parents, though, they noticed that I would always be going to that specific tree. I was a very imaginative child, so it wasn't necessarily odd, but they noticed that I would always be talking, like I was talking to somebody, because I was talking to somebody. And they would say, like, you know, like, what are you doing over there? I'm like, oh, I'm with, like, you know, the older lady, and she's showing me the plants, she's showing me the mushrooms, and, you know, she just hangs out with me. And when I was little, I mean, till now, I really love, like, our elders, the manunko. I love listening to their stories. So it wasn't like foreign for me to spend time with somebody older. Anyways, at some point they were like, you know, like, maybe there's nobody there, maybe you should stop playing at the tree. Actually, they were more strict about it. They're like, stop playing at the tree. Like, I'm making it sound like they were. I was instructed to stop, but I felt bad because I knew she would be waiting for me, because we always hang out. So I didn't listen. I would continue going, I would continue spending time, I would continue getting in trouble. Then one night, like, I think most local families do this, when you're little, you all sleep in the same room. And I had my own bed. My parents' bed were, like, you know, a few feet away. And I woke up and I saw the old lady in the room, which even at like 6 years old, I knew that that's strange. But what was stranger was that she was floating, like, over my parents while they were sleeping. Sorry, I'm like shaking. She was floating over my parents, and specifically over my mom, and she was like watching her sleep. So even though it was my friend, and even though I knew she was a nice old lady, it did freak me out, because this whole time I just thought she was real, and I thought that my parents were just not paying attention, maybe, that maybe they weren't noticing that there was somebody there hanging out with me. Eventually she left, and this is in the same night. So she's floating, then she vanishes, and I was freaked out, so I ran straight to the bed and I woke my mom up, and then I told her, like, remember the lady that would play with me? She was just floating over you guys. And so, you know, my mom just calmed me down, then we prayed, we went to sleep. And then, you know, in the morning my parents were like, you really need to listen and stop playing in that tree when, you know, like I'm unattended, I guess. I don't remember if a storm came or if they just decided to cut the tree down, but they removed the tree. And as time passed, even before I was seeing this lady, the difference is, you know, I'm an adult later talking to my parents about it. My mom would have like a reoccurring dream of an old woman. And in the dream, like they're farming together in the same space of the land. And she's like her friend. It's like somebody that she's known, like she's known for a long time. And the last dream, which was not too long, I think, after we had removed the tree, she came to my mom. I think she was planting like bananas, she said in the dream. And the ocean was closer, like not how it is now. And she told her, you know, I have to go now. I've been watching over the land and you guys for a long time, and it's time for me to go, but you'll be okay. And in my mom's dream, she was really sad because it was like, at least how she was explaining it to us, it's like the feeling is like it's somebody that you've known forever, like for your whole life, and somebody you're gonna miss, even though it's in you know, in waking life, like it's not somebody she knows. So they said bye. You know, she was sad, and she's like, you guys are gonna be fine. Somebody else will come and like almost like replace her. Like somebody else is gonna come and like watch over like I guess the land or the family or whatever. And so eventually she left. I never saw the lady again, and my mom never had any more dreams like about her. And yeah, I still think about her fondly. Like she was super nice to me, gave me like the time of day as a kid to have somebody like genuinely listen to you and spend time with you. But yeah, I hope she's good wherever she is at.
So this story happened in Guam when I was at UOG doing my college back then. We had followed a friend to a friend's house for his birthday party. And you know, we were having all fun. It was a great party. You know, lots of college kind of lifestyle going on in there. And right before we finished the party, we went outside to take a picture. And at that time, I didn't know a lot of the local superstitions, especially about the nighttime boonies, wearing white. And I had on a white shirt. We were in the boonie area, getting ready to take a picture near the house. And then, you know, they told us to say like, happy birthday. And we did. And right as we said it, I felt an electric shock kind of go through me. And I was like, oh, okay, that's weird. What was that? After that, we went home. You know, nothing went wrong. Went back to the dorm. So for the next couple of days, something was like off. I just felt uncomfortable. It was very weird. And then, you know, random things would happen. Like my bed would suddenly shake in the middle of the night, or, you know, things would disappear. But then I remember one day I was changing, getting ready to go to class. And as I was changing my top, I turned and I looked. There was literally a head floating next to me, and there was no body. I was so scared. I ran out of the room, and after that, like, I told my friends what happened, and they said, we need to go back and you need to apologize to whatever it was you bothered. But for the next 2 to 3 days, it took me a while to get back there, and it was just constantly following me, wouldn't leave me alone. And then I finally went and I apologized, and it kind of went away. this next one happened when I was stationed at Tinian for 1 year for work. I had to use the program's vehicle to get from work to wherever we were staying at that time, which was the U-Safe Mansion. If you've never been there, it was made by the owner for him and his family, and it was a very big like mansion. It had like different floors and suites. I was staying in one of the rooms at that time. I was waiting for one of my coworkers to get off because I would drop her home. And I was outside waiting on the back near our office. And I heard my name being called, and I, responded like, yes. And nobody was there, and I kept looking, nobody was there. And I thought, oh, okay, it's weird. And then I went back in the office, and my coworker was in the office. So I was like, oh, that's weird. Never thought anything about it. Anyway, dropped her home, went home. And that was kind of the start of my troubles there. I remember washing my plates that night, and I could feel like something was watching me. Just ignored it. It's just me by myself in this big hotel kind of mansion kind of thing. So I went to sleep that night, and that was kind of the start of my troubles. The first time I slept, I felt like something was wrong. I was uncomfortable, and then I went to sleep, and then suddenly I felt something on my leg, and I was yanked several times off of my bed, and different things kept happening throughout the time that I was there. Whether it was my bed was shaking, I was being yanked off, the lights would go on and off, and then I didn't sleep good that night, and I went back to work, and it kept happening for the next couple of days as well, because I didn't know what was going on. I didn't really grow up around a lot of locals and a lot of superstitions. And long story short, my coworker that was there, she saw me one day, and she's like, you have a friend, and you invited this friend, and it's giving you problems because you called it. And I didn't know at that time what she meant. And then she was, I was telling her what started, because she asked me what happened, when did it happen, how did it happen. And then she told me I needed to go apologize. But I was confused because I didn't do anything wrong. But she told me, that's just the local way, you have to apologize. And after I went back to the spot where I heard my name being called, and I apologized. And then after that, all it kind of stopped on its own. But then different things happened later on with different situations.
So one night I was at a friend's house. She asked me to help her babysit her kids. Anyway, we were there. I was there probably until late. It was late night, and I was there with another friend, helping our other friend with babysitting her kids. Anyways, she had left the house to go, I believe she went to the store or something, I forgot. But anyway, she stepped out. So as my other friend and I were there with her kids, I needed the restroom, so I needed to pee, right? And keep in mind, this house has no power at all. So it's late night, it's dark. We didn't even have candles at the time. But anyways, so I asked her older daughter to walk me to the restroom because it was dark. I didn't want to stay there by myself. But yeah, so she took me to the restroom. I asked her to wait for me, but she didn't wait. She left me there. So as I was finishing up in the restroom, I made my way out. I was walking out, and as I was walking out of the restroom heading towards the living room, I heard this deep demonic growl that was coming from the left side of the so-called hallway next to the room. And usually when I hear stuff, I would turn around and look, but this time I couldn't. It was so scary, so I just made my way out of the house as fast as I could. What did I just hear? What was that? So after that incident, I never wanted to go back to that house again. And I the last time I saw the house, it was abandoned totally. So one night, I was home browsing the internet on my home computer, and I was sitting right in front of the door that leads to the outside. As I was browsing the internet, I felt like there was somebody like behind me or something, or like next to me. So obviously my reaction was like, you know, turning around, looking, you know, trying to see if I can find somebody, but nobody was there. But somehow I felt that somebody was there, and I kind of felt like I was choking a bit. But then because I didn't see anybody, I kind of like didn't really want to mind it. But so I turned towards the other side, and I can see my mom like pacing back and forth. She's like, she was doing something. So she was walking back and forth. And then later on, she came in to the room to check on me. And I really thought she asked me about my auntie. So I turned and I said, "What did you say again about Auntie Danny?" She goes, "I didn't say anything." I said, "Yes, you asked me something about her." She's like, "No, I saw her standing behind you." And I said, "What?" She said, "Yeah, wasn't she standing behind you? Like, I thought I saw her like standing behind you, like, you know, with her hand like on your shoulders, like, you know." And I said, "Mom, nobody was here. Nobody came. But I felt like somebody was here, and I just kept looking around." She said, "Yes, she was behind you. She was standing behind you." I said, "No, Mom, nobody was here." So I was like, whoa, I really did feel that. My mom was telling me that she saw my auntie, and I know, of course, she wasn't there. Then I kind of thought about it, like, you know, this must be the white lady that my mom was always seeing around the area, because I remember her telling me a story also about this white lady that she was looking at through my great grandma's house. And all of a sudden, like, she was far away from the house. She can see the lady, but all of a sudden she found herself in front of the door. She didn't know how she got there. But yeah, that must be the same white lady that she saw.
And there you have it. Chilling stories from the Pacific. Stay tuned for the rest of Halloweek. And don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Till then, grind on, coconuts.